Let's look for tech here. In today's video we have the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus and the Huawei P40 Pro, Kirin 995G and Exynos 990 gaming comparison with Dolphin Emulator. So you could see the difference in gaming performance for Dolphin games, which is GameCube and Wii games. If you want to see more games tested on my channel, you could check my YouTube channel out, or you could go on my website, look for tech, and you could see it there for the full tests of these phones. Now we will be using Gamebench Pro for the FPS counter since I prefer it. Dolphin MMJ is what I am using. First game I want to test out is Simpsons Hit and Run. Now before I continue, I do want to say both phones are using the exact same settings. Both are using enhanced to 720p. Both have sync on skip idle deactivated, and both has override emulated clock speed disabled. First thing we're going to do is we're going to move the FPS count. Now we're going to first play on the Samsung and then we're going to go to the Huawei. So I'm not going to read the FPS counter since it's more than big enough for you to read it yourself. So that's enough reaching here. Now we'll go through the P40 Pro and do the same thing, and as you saw we did get a stable FPS, but there was some frame drops like near the end. So from what I'm seeing, both are very similar in FPS. And let's just get to this part where it dropped to 32 on the Samsung. But as you see, we're averaging out about 50. Crash Bandicoot Tag Team Racing. Right here we're at 41, 45, you can see. During the cutscene it went to 30, which is expected because that's just how the game is. Okay, so we saw that it was about 30 to 50 FPS. So we're at 60 FPS, which is already much better than the Samsung. And the cutscene went back to 30, which makes sense. Let's see if we're gonna average out higher. So different areas seem to be giving different FPS, but in general the Huawei is giving a much higher average. So the Kirin 990 is doing much better so far. As you can see, we're 60 here, but we're 50 here. So the clear winner is the Huawei P40 Pro. On the Samsung we're getting about 29, 32, 33. We dropped to 26 FPS at one point. So let's mute this. That was 26 FPS, the lowest we got. Now for the Huawei P40 Pro. We're already averaging out much higher. We did drop to 27 FPS, similar to the Samsung, but Super Mario Sunshine. We're gonna do the exact same thing, hopefully. So, it seems 20 FPS average in general. Let's mute this. We have 11 FPS on the Samsung. But it did go back up to 20, so that's a good thing. In general, it's pretty much the same, so this isn't a good example of a game to test, unfortunately. Need for Speed Underground too. We'll do it on the P40 first. Okay, so that should give us a good example. Now on this Samsung, we're going to do the exact same, hopefully. So the P40 does seem to average out higher than the Samsung. Now we're gonna go to settings and then start changing it up. Everything's ready, it seems. We're gonna go Wii game, Donkey Kong, Country Return. First on the Huawei. Let's go here. So in general it's a 50 FPS average, and when... So that's that. Dropped to 43 FPS at one point. Now for the Samsung. So we have already seen a frame drop to 45, and it is giving some... more lag. See, second time it dropped to 46. FPS again. We didn't get this much lag on the P40. But still it's doing decently, it's just the P40 is doing better. Now let's get hit twice so we can die. And then see 46. 43, just like the P40. Let's go Sonic Color. We'll first go on the P40 this time. So as you can see, we're averaging out below 20 FPS. With lots of lag. Now on the Samsung. We started at 10 FPS, but again we went up to like the Huawei, basically below 20. So it's doing slightly better than the Huawei at one point. It went to 24, 25 even. But that's enough for this. So the Samsung did better in Sonic. New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Again, we're gonna start with the Huawei. It's laggy. But we seem to be averaging at about 30 to 40 FPS. Yep, 30 to 40 FPS, mostly at 34, let's say. Now for the Samsung. So similar for the Samsung S20. Sound is much more messed up on the S20. At some points it does seem smoother, but like here it went up to 46, but then it went to 23, so it's completely different in performance wise, since we didn't get to 23 on the P40, but we didn't also get to 46. Oh, look at that lag, look. Oof. What happened there? We didn't have that. I think the phone is heating up and causing some throttling issues. Let's see if the same happens here. On the Samsung Galaxy S20, when the phone does heat up, let's see how hot it's running. We have CPU monitor here. It's at 40 degrees. Meanwhile, 47 degrees. So the Huawei is actually warmer, 49, 48. But the Samsung is cooler. Let's go to Zelda as the final game we're gonna test. Okay, so the P40 is right now at 26, 25, 27. The Samsung S20 is at 27, 28. So it's very similar right now. We're gonna run around. So the P40 is doing pretty decently, no extreme frame drops, they just went to 22 by the time we got here. Let's see how the Samsung does. So Samsung's doing pretty well as well. When we reach the shore, it's still doing better than the Huawei, which is at 22 FPS right now. So the Samsung seems to be doing slightly better. Not sure if this can keep the performance up when it overheats like it did for Super Mario Bros. Where it suddenly dropped. But for the Huawei you could see that it's not as smooth as the Samsung right now, so you can see there's much more lag on the Huawei P40 Pro. So I guess it really depends. From what I've noticed, the Samsung is a reliable phone still, even though it does get some frame drops to below 15 FPS sometimes after playing on the phone for long amounts of time. That doesn't happen that often on the Huawei. I've noticed it happen only once before. But in general, the Huawei seems to be the much better performant phone. Now, both phones are really good, and hopefully this video was useful. And if you can, subscribe to help this channel grow, since I am a new YouTuber. Thanks again, have a great day guys, bye bye.